It's all about flexibility.
This is never a one man or one woman show.
Ethics are important aspect to be considered.
We are different from other competitors.
We establish the trust, mutual trust.
You have to be extremely focused on creating value.
We do from the sales departments till the supply chain.
This investment is needed. In a nutshell, I would say manager behavior is key.
It's not a threat, it's something that comes on top of everything.
Food for thought, for intriguing conversations. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back to this show. Today I'm very thrilled to let you know that it is a compilation. So basically the compilation, it's a combination of small extracts of the best moments of every single top elite executive that has been in the show. So we have decided to make this compilation so my audience and my community can actually have in one video the best possible advice from the top 10 elite executives across the world. So let's go right to the point. So in the very first video with Stephen Pilotes, he spoke about consumer goods. So this is his segment, this is his sector, his expertise. But in terms of advice for the community, he emphasized that one will reach the top, will become an executive leader once he's able to flex, become flexible, to then be able to reach the top. So flex for career success. Take a look at this video.
In order to be successful, there's probably three key attributes or at least three key areas that I focus on. Number one, with so many transitions, moving into disrupted business units, it's all about flexibility. Not every situation is the same. Not every set of stakeholders or a group of individuals you'll be interacting with have the same mindset. Not every line manager has the same style. So it's a lot about flexibility, right? And I think, at least personally, in my early career, that was one of my biggest personal leadership challenges. When I was young and starting off, I had one single way of attacking problems. So I was 100% intensity, 100% of the time trying to drive for results. And I didn't learn until later in my career, and I think this was one of my biggest challenges. It's about learning how to flex my style, depending on the audience, the situation, the stakeholders, and the desired outcome.
In the next episode, we have now Carsten Henke from Germany. Carsten talks about the importance of orchestrating synergies, being able to actually collaborate across stakeholders, all the way from bottom up to leaders, and how to get everybody together, influence decisions, so to be able to be successful in the life sciences business. He does talk about commercial strategies, and also in terms of the human factor that is required to actually be able to be successful.
It is important, very important, to define very well what you need to do in a launch, for example, of a product. Many different things, pricing, targeting, key opinion leader management, and many things come to mind. But then the more important thing, in my experience at least, is how do you actually execute? How do you really do this? And this is never a one man or one woman show. It is always a team effort, and then you need to bring people together. So the human factor in really delivering on what you promise and delivering on what the product is able to deliver or the service is important. That is bringing in people, making sure they work together, making sure they communicate, making sure 1 + 1 hopefully adds up to much more than 2.
In episode number 3, we have Elio Calidori. Elio is from the public sector arena. He talks about public sector, internationalization, startups, and joint ventures. Elio taught us the importance of ethics as the major skill set to be able to reach the top in the public sector.
My recommendation for everyone who would like to join the working with the public sector, it is not just to look to the relation client and the provider or supplier, trying to provide a good value, try to provide an impact. And of course, ethics are important aspect to be considered.
Episode number 4, we have Wojtek. Yania. Wojtek has told us everything you need to know about developing a career in omnichannel and e-commerce. The most interesting thing about what Wojtek has taught us is about a new concept called retainment. And apologies if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Watch the video so you can get the right pronunciation. Basically, Wojtek explains about his success stories in driving traffic to stores and picking up sales substantially by blending the concept of retail and entertainment in stores. Take a look.
We came up with an idea of retailtainment, yeah? The retailtainment was the idea to entertain the customers, inside the shop. So there was a lot of music around, there was a lot of makeup shows, there were a lot of gifts, there was of course food and drink, and the success of this, I mean, we saw that first of all we need to show the customers that we are different from other competitors. So imagine yourself coming to a shopping center. So there's a let's say loud music playing in the shopping center. More or less all the, let's say, shops are the same. You come in, you come out, and then in the middle of the shopping center you have Sephora and you have this big party inside. So naturally you want to go inside and you want to see what's happening, yeah? Then you go inside and you have a lot of fun. So basically you buy more products, and you test the products. So you come out with a fantastic experience remembering about this. So this of course all helped us to drive, let's say, sales numbers and more, let's say, the higher value of the basket.
Now we have in episode 5 Andrei Montean. Andrei talks about diplomacy trade with the topic influence and reconciliation during agreements. Andrei drives us through an example where he had to actually influence a very big leader in the government, and he had to first build rapport. So how did he connect personally first with that person? He gained the trust, he gained the rapport, and after 6 hours, he was able then to go into the business talk. Interesting, take a look at it.
We talked about everything in life except for that particular document that needed to be ratified. And we established the trust, mutual trust. We established the personal communication. I tried to very hard, and I succeeded in taking his position, realizing why the stagnation was the case at the moment, at the time, and what needs to be done to lift that lid and let the process go and to get accomplished. So at the end of the day, in the end of that very long day, he said, I'll sign it. I'll sign it because I now realize what this is about and why this is important. So communication, personal communication, when you become really a part of it, when you take it personally, when you integrate a need along with your personal interest and personal commitment to get into the accomplishment mode, will get you there.
In episode number 6, We have Michael Jarush. Michael, tell us about the automotive sector, so private equities. He has told us something very interesting about those who want to go into the private sector arena. What are the major skill sets required if you want to have your career and be successful with private equities, which is a big boom at the moment?
To be successful in private equity, you have to be extremely focused on creating value. And in that, you create EBITDA, which is really the earnings at a net income level that combined with the right mix of the product diversification and with the right mix of the customer base, then you can improve the multiple of the company. So the first company would buy us at a multiple of 7 or 8 of the earnings. The last company bought us at about 20 times multiple of the earnings. And then when you're growing the earnings over the years, then the value of the company goes out significantly.
Then we have episode 7 with Stefan Heines. Stefan has told us everything about business transformation, layoffs, massive layoffs, and change management. Does refer that the importance of building very strong foundations in order to succeed as a business leader during restructures and mergers. He actually compares the strong foundations to the game of Jenga. An interesting concept that Stefan has shared with us and how he looks at the big picture to make tough decisions. Take a look and see how he creates an action plan and how he blends data analytics for decisions.
When we start a merger, we go to the companies and we try to get all the processes on paper, and then we are going to reflect which processes are the best in every company, and then we are going to align those. So that's how we assemble the data, especially with talking to people, because it's beautiful when it's on paper, but mostly on the work floor, it happens a little bit different. So we are speaking to people, getting it on paper, and that data we are going to check, and then we will find out how we can optimize those processes. And that's what we do from the sales departments till the supply chain.
We have then in episode 8, Mohammed Alali. Mohammed Alali tell us everything about how to develop a growth mindset to lead and scale business, the importance of looking at the horizon, looking ahead, other than just looking at what's happening right now. So getting out of the status quo in order to initiate changes that will be other than waiting until they are needed in the future. So very interesting how he influences business leaders to make change while everything seems just to be fine, but stagnant, which becomes a risk.
The hard part was to convince the stakeholders that this investment is needed because the business is doing well. Why do we need to inject more money or take some of the profits and recapitalize it in the business again? So that was the biggest part of the challenge. I drew a kind of a future photo or a picture of what if we don't do anything, if we keep everything as is, and why we need to do that now while we are comfortable. So before we get the urgent need for anything. And again, of course, the major part was keeping the health and safety and welfare of the staff at the top. Don't allow it to in any way deteriorate or get less than what it is today, and actually improve it if we can. And the other part also to keep the service levels with our customers and deliver it as we promise.
In episode number 9, we have Michel Moulin. Michel tells us about the importance of leading from the heart, the importance of empathy, when it comes about identifying yourself with that person, with their feelings, their way of thinking and being, before you try to incorporate ambitious corporate goals. He has demonstrated very strong leadership, where in one of the examples he tells us how he persuades to guarantee exponential corporate goals during tough times and still be very profitable.
If you don't know which goal you want to reach, and when I say you don't know, sometimes top manager, middle manager, even more because they don't have this communication, So the pace is not there. They don't know how much they have to ship. They don't know how much they have to book. And you don't have the pace, so you don't have this positive pressure. So then the action plan are not moving as fast as you wish. And then the snowball is not growing. But when you say every day or every week, okay, guys, we have to reach, let's say an example, 10 million this month. Where are we today? And then you check with some KPIs, then it creates a pace, creates a rhythm. And then everybody's on their toes. But of course, you have to support them to make sure that you remove the roadblocks. So in a nutshell, I would say manager behavior, it's key first. Then you have a system to deploy your policy across the organization using practical example of their own life to understand, and then to set a pace to make sure that everybody is moving at the same time, or at least as fast as possible.
In episode 10, we have Valentin Galatano. Valentin brings a little bit of innovation to our show. He talks a lot about intriguing conversations. So from the best moment of his video, I would like you to watch when he talks about artificial intelligence and what it will bring to our reality. What are the threats and what are the advantages? Stay tuned and watch this extract right now.
However, the artificial intelligence, it helps you to build patterns and to see, this company is going to pay me in time, or this company is going to delay, based on different behaviors and based on the plethora of data that exists out there. And the artificial intelligence, with a big power of processing, can do these things much more quicker than we do and have access instantly to, Dr. Google. So the artificial intelligence will help you to take better decisions, will help you to mitigate risks, and at the end of the day, to have a healthy financial system. It's not a threat, it's something that comes on top of everything. So it helps you to build models, it helps you to be proactive, and sometimes, to be ahead of, it's like in a chase game, to be 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of what's happening now at this moment.
Everyone, thank you so much for being here today. I really hope you have learned tremendously from these top 10 leaders across the world, and you've become much wiser today once you finish this video. Now, I do ask you, if you really enjoyed all those videos, if you enjoyed what they said, let me know, let them know. Who would you like to come back to the show? Who is the one person from the middle of 10 top brilliant minds, exceptional geniuses? Which one would you like to have come back and why? What would you like him to talk more about? Let us know. I'll be very curious to hear. After a month from the publishing of this video, we're going to bring this person back. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel to get amazing insights about your career. And until next time, bend this matrix and create the reality you wish to see in your life.